Hi, Miguel here, back with another Naruto vlog. Today we're doing Volume 10, A Splendid Ninja. Today we're wrapping up the tournament arc of the third portion of the exam, which are at least the preliminary rounds that we've come to establish. When we last left off, Rock Lee was about to go up against Gaara, and I kind of predicted that Rock Lee didn't really stand much of a chance against Gaara. I was wrong. Lee did throw out a couple of surprises, and it's not that he did lose, but he did give his all. There's apparently a Lotus technique, the reverse Lotus, that's actually like extremely more dangerous than the Lotus that we've previously seen, which really it really makes me scared to see like the extent to which these moves can be utilized. According to the in-game, not in-game, the in-world lore, the chakra is limited by 8 gates. And in order to utilize the Lotus to the extent that he uses in the volume, Lee actually ends up unlocking 5 of those gates. But the purpose of those gates is to ensure that chakra flow or chakra usage doesn't go beyond the allowed limit, so to say, that the human body can take without damaging itself. So the fact that he had to unlock 5 of those 8 gates means that he was emitting so much power that he was actually causing his body to tear itself apart. And initially this doesn't seem to faze Gaara. He has like a very thick defense. Not only does he have the little sand thing that he uses as a shield, but he also has this body armor of sand that protects him from a lot of Lee's attacks. But that said, Lee's attacks are so powerful that they almost break through Gaara's nearly impenetrable defense. And we get to see some of Lee's backstory that we didn't previously know. We knew that he only specialized in taijutsu, but up till now we haven't found out that the reason he does this is because he cannot use ninjutsu or genjutsu. He is not capable of doing that, and at the beginning he wasn't very good at taijutsu either. So his training is solely based on his hard work, and that's why Might Guy has this very great relationship with him. And it's very touching to see Might Guy, like, when he does come in to stop the battle, saying, okay, that's enough, you're going to hurt yourself if you keep doing this. He reveals that, he reveals through his memories that when he first met Lee, Lee told him that his goal is to show the world that you don't have to know ninjutsu or genjutsu, you don't have to be capable of using them in order to be a ninja. He wants to be the first to show them that. When Might Guy stops the battle, Guy actually, like, he embraces Lee. He says that he's extremely proud of him, you know, that he has proven himself to be a ninja capable of only specializing in taijutsu. It's a really touching moment, actually, when you come to think of it, because Lee, this whole time that we've known him, he has been constantly trying to prove himself, whether it be proving himself to Sakura or proving himself against Sasuke. He is always trying to prove himself and showing to us that Guy is proud of him, that Guy is giving him the, showing us that he does acknowledge Lee as a ninja it's a very touching moment. I think it's one of my favorite moments in this tournament arc so far, because, you know, despite I have griped in past videos about how, like, I kind of wish we knew about this backstory before we came up to this point, because, you know, we would relate more to the characters if we did that. But I think that Lee is a special case because he's shown he's shown us in the previous volumes just what his goals are. He's shown us rather than told us, and even though now we get to know his backstory, we still feel for him because he has constantly been trying to prove himself throughout the past few volumes, and it really makes me feel for him. Personal opinion, again, like, you know, you can take whatever you want from this. But Gara wins, which means that he gets to move on to the next round of matches. And there's a very brief fight. There's a very brief fight between another one of the Sound Ninja, one of the Otonin, and Choji. And this is actually the second time that the two have fought, which means that they both. Choji thinks that he can easily overcome the Sound Ninja by doing the same thing he did last time, the Art of Expansion, which he inflates his body. But the Sound Ninja knows what's coming this time, and he has figured out a way to counter it, utilizing water as a means to cause his sound waves to travel. And due to the human body being mostly water, all he has to do is pinpoint that spot where the head would meet the sound within Choji's rolling body, and Choji's done. So we've got one Sound Ninja in the mix among the 10, well, not 10, sorry, 9 among the 9 participants in the next round of the third portion of the exam, which the Lord Hokage has declared is going to take place a month from the preliminaries, which I think is a good idea. I haven't really. The one thing that has been bothering me about the series, and it's just a minor thing, something that's continually confused me, is like I don't get that great of an idea of how much time passes in between arcs. Like, we know that the first portion of the exam took an hour. They probably moved immediately to the next portion of the exam, which took 5 days. It probably drained them completely. And I don't think they've specified how long it was between the second and third portions of the exam. It seemed like, based on the state that everyone was in at the time, it seemed like it took place immediately after the second portion, because we saw people bruised, we saw people bloodied. And it bothered me that we were going straight into the preliminary rounds immediately after the second round. At least that's what I assumed happened. So like I think it's good that the Hokage is giving them a month to relax, to rest, to heal up before the next round, and also to gather information about their enemies, to identify like what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what are they good at with regards to ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu, what are their capabilities, and how can I counter that? I think it's a good idea to allow them to figure that out, and it'll make for some interesting new matchups for to see how everyone has improved over the past month when we do eventually get to that point. Now, meanwhile, Orochimaru has been working behind the scenes. We see I keep calling him Mizuki because he looks a lot like Mizuki in my mind. Kabuto. We see that he is tasked with kidnapping Sasuke, but Orochimaru actually tempts him to kill Sasuke, interestingly enough. I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. But he is caught by Kakashi. Kakashi is now aware that Kabuto was a spy, that Orochimaru is continually trying to come at Sasuke. The Black Ops team, Kabuto was able to kill very efficiently. We don't even see it. It's really it's kind of terrifying what Kabuto might be capable of because we don't see it. He actually manages to escape Kakashi, and Kakashi is now aware, okay, we need to keep Sasuke protected, at least up until the next part of the exams. So, yeah, Sasuke is still out of commission for now. Still healing from still has the mark on his shoulder that's threatening to overtake his body, but still sealed by Kakashi. Orochimaru hints that it won't do much good, that he's not too worried about it because of Sasuke's nature as an Avenger, I'm assuming. So we'll see how that plays into things. We'll see how Sasuke deals with this mark. So now we have 9 competitors going into the next round. We have Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara. We have we have Neji. We have like 5 other people. One of a sound ninja, Temari and Kankuro. So all 3 sand ninja are going into the are going into the next round. And we also have Shikamaru, and I don't remember who the last one was. Okay, well, it'll come to me. But, 9 people going into the next round. I know there were 10 battles, but Sakura and Ino tied, so they're not able to progress to the next round. And we have a month. So, Kakashi actually turns over Naruto's training for now to a character we haven't seen in a while, Master Ebisu, who is Konohamaru's teacher. I will say this about Konohamaru. I don't really know what it was when we tried to establish Konohamaru, at least Konohamaru tried to establish himself as Naruto's rival. It seemed very serious at the time. Like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to be Naruto's rival. And then Sasuke steps in. He's like, yeah, let me show you how a rivalry is really done. But as of right now, Konohamaru has been less of a rival and more of a, I'm your biggest fan sort of character. Which, like, I don't know. It makes his like introduction feel very. It feels very pointless in my mind. Like, I do it. I appreciate the fact that he does look up to Naruto and that he really hopes to become the next Hokage as well as Naruto. But it doesn't feel like he has. It feels more like he's the big fan type of character instead of the rivalry that it felt like they were setting up in the first volume, which was weird. We do see a tiny bit of him trying to sneak out of Iruka's class in this volume. I think it was this volume. But anyway. We, by the way, noticed that Iruka is rather worried about Naruto and company. Very briefly, I'm glad to see that we're still like cutting back to him and that he still maintains this relationship with Naruto and company, even despite the fact that they're no longer his students. But anyway, Naruto is being trained by Master Ebisu, and he gives this really like complicated like diagram based lecture. It takes up like 3 pages. Showing how stamina is related to both taijutsu and ninjutsu and genjutsu. So apparently, like, you have to utilize stamina in order to use taijutsu. That's not really much of a surprise because in real life you need stamina in order to do physical stuff. But apparently you have to actually convert stamina to chakra in order to utilize ninjutsu and genjutsu. Which we see how Sakura and Sasuke are capable of doing that. Sakura is like really precise with the utilization of her chakra. Sasuke not so much. Naruto was the worst. Not surprisingly, the worst at using his chakra to very efficiently. The reason that he's gotten this far is that his chakra, his potential for utilizing his chakra is so immense, like even more so than Sasuke and Sakura, that he's actually managed to keep up. But he does need to learn how to utilize his chakra more efficiently, and in order to do that, Master Ebisu takes him to the springs, where he tries to teach him how to manipulate his chakra to walk on water, very similar to walking up trees that we saw in previous volumes that Kakashi taught him. But this time it's a lot more focused on the precision with which he can utilize his chakra to walk on the water. Naruto actually gets it pretty quickly, but we seem to have a new character popping in, a very mysterious character. So I'm excited to find out who this character is, how he's going to play into the overall story, and yeah. This volume was pretty good. It was decent. There weren't really too many standout moments. I like how Guy acknowledged Lee as a ninja. You know, Lee surprised me with a lot of moves against Gaara, and yeah, that's really about it. There wasn't really too much going on in this volume. But I'm glad we went through with it. I'm glad. I'm glad to see that this part of the tournament is over. I'm glad to see that we're going to go through some more training to prepare for the next portion of the exam, so that we can see some fresh new moves when it's finally time for things to go down. In that case, I will see you all in volume 11. I can't believe we're already in double digits.